Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Picture this, you're commanding the most powerful naval fleet on the planet. You've got a massive nuclear-powered supercarrier, basically a floating city packed with the most advanced fighter jets in the world, like the F-35C and the F-18 Super Hornet. You have the power to project force anywhere on the globe. But then you realize that all of your overwhelming advantages are completely neutralized by just a handful of enemy missiles. Missiles that force your aircraft carriers so far back that your jets can't even reach their targets. This isn't the plot of a sci-fi movie. This is the harsh reality the US Navy is facing right now in the South China Sea. And that exact crisis is what gave birth to a massive new game changer. It doesn't fire missiles, and it doesn't drop bombs. It's an unmanned aerial gas station that is about to flip the global balance of power. Today, we're diving deep into why the MQ-25A Stingray is the ultimate trump card that has China and Russia watching very closely. Before we get into the Stingray itself, we need to understand the core headache the US Navy is dealing with. In modern warfare, it's not about who has the biggest ship, it's all about weapon range. Superpowers like China know that going toe-to-toe with US aircraft carriers in a direct naval battle is a terrible idea. So they developed a strategy called A2AD, or Anti-Access Area Denial. They rely on long-range anti-ship ballistic missiles like the DF-21D, famously known as the carrier killer. These missiles have a range of nearly 1,000 nautical miles. That means if a major conflict breaks out, US carrier strike groups simply cannot safely sail within 1,000 miles of the Chinese coastline. It's just too risky to turn a multi-billion-dollar ship and 5,000 sailors into a sitting duck. But here's where the math becomes a nightmare. The main punch of the US Navy, fighters like the F-35C and the Super Hornet, only have a combat radius of about 500 to 600 nautical miles without refueling. Do you see the broken equation here? If your carrier is parked 1,000 miles away, but your jets can only fly 600 miles, they will never reach their targets on shore. Or if they try, they definitely won't have enough fuel to make it back to the deck. This is a critical blind spot that threatens to render US strike capabilities completely useless. So, how has the US been solving this so far? The answer is something the military calls buddy tanking. In plain English, it means having fighters refuel other fighters. The Navy has been forced to take high-end F-18 Super Hornets, strap massive fuel tanks under their wings, and use them as flying gas stations for other jets heading out on missions. Sounds like a decent workaround, right? Actually, it's incredibly painful. In a single carrier air wing, the Navy has to divert almost a third of its strike fighters just as act as gas attendants instead of actually fighting. Not only is it a massive waste of firepower, but constantly taking off and landing with heavy fuel loads absolutely shreds the airframes. The US is burning through the lifespan of multi-million-dollar fighter jets on missions that involve zero combat. This crisis hit a breaking point, forcing the Pentagon to urgently seek a solution. They needed an aircraft that could launch from a carrier deck, carry a massive payload of fuel, and most importantly, do it without risking human life. This sparked a fierce bidding war among defense contractors, and ultimately, Boeing won the contract, giving birth to a bizarre, futuristic-looking drone that looks like a space manta ray. We know it as the MQ-25A Stingray. This drone wasn't built for dogfights or bombing runs. It was born to be the invisible wingman, the lifeline for the US Navy's strike fighters. It is designed as the world's first unmanned carrier-based aerial refueling tanker. Its sleek design gives it a certain degree of low observability, or stealth, but its main job is to fly out ahead or alongside fighter jets and deliver fuel in high-risk zones where large, slow-moving tankers like the KC-135 simply can't survive. To really put into perspective why this Iron Ray is such a massive game changer, let's look at a side-by-side comparison. Let's see the difference between using the MQ-25A drone versus continuing to force FA-18 Super Hornets into that buddy tanking role. When you look at these specs, the difference is night and day. In the past, when using a Super Hornet for buddy tanking at a range of 500 nautical miles, it could only pass on about 4,000 to 6,000 pounds of fuel. That barely extends the range of the strike package. Plus, you're putting human pilots at risk near the front lines. But the MQ-25A, it can haul up to 15,000 pounds of fuel out to that same 500-mile mark. That is enough to completely top off an F-35 or Super Hornet, allowing them to penetrate hundreds of miles deeper into enemy airspace or loiter over target areas significantly longer than ever before. Now, looking at the procurement cost, you might be thinking, wait a minute, a drone costs around $150 million, while a manned Super Hornet is only about $80 million. Why is a drone so much more expensive? The answer lies in its tactical ROI. For that $150 million, you aren't just buying a gas tank, you are buying freedom back for your entire carrier air wing. Deploying the Stingray means the Navy instantly gets 10 to 15 strike fighters back on the offensive per carrier. It's a massive increase in firepower without having to build a whole new aircraft carrier. That level of strategic value is almost priceless. And the financial win doesn't stop at procurement. You have to look at the long game. Check out the CPFH, or cost per flight hour, that we just added to the chart. Operating a manned Super Hornet is brutally expensive. You're burning anywhere from $11,000 to $18,000 for every single hour that jet is in the air. Using a high-end strike fighter to just fly around in circles pumping gas is literally burning money. The Stingray, on the other hand, is projected to cost a fraction of that, estimated at well under $5,000 an hour. It doesn't need complex life support systems, an oxygen supply, or a gas-guzzling supersonic engine. It's built purely for efficient cruising. So while that $150 million upfront price tag might cause some sticker shock, the operational savings over the drone's lifespan are astronomical. You're saving millions in maintenance and fuel while preserving the lifespan of your actual combat jets. Hearing all this, you might be asking the elephant in the room, why doesn't China just shoot this flying gas station down? Well, it's not that simple. You have to understand that the MQ-25A isn't flying blindly into a wall of missiles. It acts as a supply truck parked safely just outside the enemy's primary air defense umbrella. The moment it finishes fueling up an F-35C, it immediately turns around and heads back to the carrier. On top of that, its flat, smooth profile helps reduce its radar cross-section. For China to shoot it down, they would have to send their own expensive stealth fighters out over the open ocean, flying right through the US Navy's Aegis radar and fighter screens just to hunt a drone. From a strategic standpoint, the risk-to-reward ratio is terrible. It's a brilliant tactical checkmate by the US. But the real engineering marvel of this project isn't just carrying fuel. The hardest part, the absolute pinnacle of aviation, is getting this drone to autonomously land on an aircraft carrier, pitching and rolling in the middle of the ocean. Think about it. The runway is incredibly short and constantly moving with the waves. The drone has to fly through turbulent winds to catch a tiny arresting wire on the deck. To pull this off, Boeing integrated highly advanced AI with JPALS, the Joint Precision Approach and Landing System. This system processes the exact locations of the ship and the drone down to the millisecond, allowing the Stingray to calculate its glide slope and trap perfectly with almost zero human intervention. And the deck operations are just as futuristic. Normally, when moving a plane around a busy flight deck, a pilot steers while deck crew give hand signals. But with the unmanned Stingray, deck operators wear a special smart armband and use a control display unit to literally drive the massive drone around the deck, kind of like a giant RC car. It is the ultimate fusion of human and robotic teamwork in one of the most high-stress environments on Earth. Let's zoom out and look at the geopolitical shift here. The arrival of the MQ-25A Stingray means the US didn't just get a new drone, they slammed a trump card down on the negotiating table. China has spent decades and billions of dollars building a missile wall to push U.S. carriers out of the South China Sea and Taiwan. The Stingray shatters that equation. It allows U.S. supercarriers to safely loiter out of missile range while sending stealth F-35Cs deep into hostile airspace to eliminate strategic targets on the mainland. It erases the Navy's biggest weakness and brings the terrifying projection of American naval power back to the forefront of the Pacific. Looking ahead, the MQ-25A Stingray is just the beginning of fully integrated robotic warfare. Today, it might just be a flying gas station delivering fuel to human pilots, but it has successfully proven that unmanned systems can operate in the brutal environment of a carrier deck. In the near future, we won't just see tanker drones, we'll see these platforms armed with missiles, electronic warfare suites, and flying in swarms alongside human pilots in programs like CCA or collaborative combat aircraft. This is an evolution of warfare, and there is no turning back. For me, the MQ-25A Stingray isn't just a high-tech weapon, it's America's most decisive answer to its rivals trying to rewrite the global order. It's proof that technology and creative problem-solving are the deadliest weapons on the modern battlefield. But what do you guys think? Will the Stingray completely secure U.S. dominance in the Pacific like they hope? Or does China have another ace up its sleeve to counter this ADA's-on? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed deep dives into military tech and geopolitics, make sure to hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our next upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.